Hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. So today we are going to be working on trying to set up GNS3 on our Proxmox server. There's a couple of things we have to do to get this thing up and running. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you want to do, we're going to go ahead and download two pieces from GNS3. So you have the first version, which is the OS piece, and then you have the VM version. Easy way to get here, you can just Google GNS3. It's normally the one that pops up with this little lizard looking guy. And once you click here, you go in. It'll take you here. I want to do this first. I want to download the GNS3 VM. So I want to click here, and it will take you into the backend where you have different versions: VirtualBox, VM Workstation, EXXI, and Hyper-V. We're going to go ahead and click on the EXXI version and download it. And it's going to run through the process real quick. It's about 903 megabytes, so it's not that huge. Once we get here, we're going to go ahead and open the location, which is in my download section. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and do an extract and extract it to this file location right here. And once the extraction is done, I'm going to go ahead and go on the inside here. And from here, I want to just go ahead and right click and then open up terminal in this location. And then we're going to go ahead and play in here to actually get it up and running. Okay, so once in here, what you want to do, you want to go ahead and type in what's called SCP. And then you can just start since you're already in the folder, just type in GNS3. And then you can hit the tab and it will bring up GNS3 just like that, the right way you need it, because they're actually inside of the folder itself. And then you want to type root and then @ So now we're just going to try to get into the IP address of the server that your Proxmox is on. I think I'm on a 151, so 192.168.1.151. And then after that, we're going to do colon and /tmp. So this is a command that you want to type to actually get into here. After you press enter right there, you want to go ahead and type in the password of your server. Now what the command just done is basically transferring this OVA file into your Proxmox server. And then once this is ready, now we want to do an SSH into the server. So we're going to type in SSH and then root and then @ So now we're SSHing back into the server itself. So 192.168.1.151. And this should get you into your server. Then you want to type the password. And then there you go, we're inside of our Proxmox server. Alright, so once you're in here, what you want to do, you want to navigate yourself to the temp folder. So we're going to do CD for change directory. And then we're going to do CD space TMP and then hit enter. And then once we're inside of the temp folder, let's go ahead and just do an extraction of the folders that's there. Okay, so now we're going to extract the contents of the files. So we need to go ahead and type in tar, T-A-R, like this, and then XVF, and then in quotations you want to type in GNS3, and then VM, not VM, VM, just like that, then OVA, and then put it back into quotations, just like that. And then you're going to hit enter here, and then you can see the contents is extracted. You can see the GNS3 VM.ovf, and then also the two files. Normally if you look at the GNS3 file structure, it actually looks like this. You'll have the two disks, this one and this two right here. Okay, so now we need to do the import of the GNS3 VM. So we're going to do a QM here and then import and import ovf, and then from here you need to find make sure you have a number that's free on your Proxmox server, and then in quotations we're going to do GNS3 space VM, and we're using the quotations because there's a space in between the file, just so you're tracking. And then it's going to be ovf, and then quotations just like that to close it up so it knows that's the name we're going to be using. And then from here, now whatever the storage name is, you want to go ahead and also give it that to tell it where to store it as well. And then as you can see, it's loading now, so it is actually transferring the OVF file into GNS3. I'm going to minimize this, and if you look over here you can see 111 is being created as we speak. That is the newest VM that's just created that we're cloning. So it says, see where it says clone of GNS3, so it's actually working in the mix currently. So it's almost done. It doesn't take that long. It's in the 80% right now, but in real time you can see that it's actually moving on pretty fast. Okay, so we're at 99.21%. So any second now it should be at 100%. And there you are. So you see we're at 100% of the transfer. Okay, as you can see, this is still running. It has about maybe another 200 gigs to go. So while this is running in the background, we can go back over to GNS3. And remember earlier we did the VM section. So now we want to go back to the front end, and we need to get the GNS3 installer from one of these. So you can do Windows or Mac depending on what you're comfortable or you're used to, and then download. Just one thing to note, when you click download, if you went to Windows, you have to either create an account or log in if you don't have one. So we're just going to go ahead and log in real quick and then commence the download. Alright, so depending on your box, this might take a little bit to finish. I had to pause the video here because it took some time to actually deliver the 488.3 gigs. So needless to say, after this is done, you can jump over back to the GNS3 where we were working at, which is the clone. This is the one we brought over, 111 if you can remember. So we can go ahead and do some admin stuff here. First thing I want like to do is on the console, on the hardware, I like to go to options, and I'm going to change this to and I'm going to change that to the GNS3 right there, so it has a good name. And then I'm going to go over to the hardware, and for the memory first, I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to do 8192, and then click advanced so that you can make sure ballooning is set. So you can set the minimum here to like 1024 if you choose to. So the minimum amount of memory it's going to use is about a gig, but then it has a room to grow to always 8 gig, and this means that if it won't waste the memory on your box, it will just use as much as is needed. Click OK. From here you can change the processors to how many you want to set. At least 2 will work for me. And then if you notice, there is no network adapter here, so we need to add one so that this can communicate with the network itself. So we add a network device here, right? And then also there's something significant to this box that we need to also change as well. Okay, so once the processors are set to 2 here, you got to make sure though that the type is set to host. So you need to go all the way down and look for hosts, and this will make sure that the GNS3 can communicate with there it goes, solid at the bottom. This will make sure that it can communicate with the devices on the network. And when I said devices, I'm talking more like the appliances on your network, and we'll talk about that later once we start trying to implement GNS3 stuff. So once everything else is set and you verify, you can go to console, and let's go ahead and start up this bad boy. And let's see how it looks starting up. If everything goes well, you should see the GNS3 portion here. It should pull an IP and all that good stuff. And voila, so here you are. The GNS3 did show up, and as you can see, the box is built on Ubuntu. All of this good stuff is loading, so this is a good site that everything was perfect. And then there you go, it pulls an IP where you can launch a GNS3 from and all that good stuff. So that means we were successful in doing the transfer and setting this part up. Alright, so as you can see now, it was launched. This is the IP address, so you want to take note of your IP. This is a 63 and we're going to use port 80, so this is something you just need to take note of when you start. But before we go forward, I want to make note of something. In here, I think you just go ahead and click OK or hit enter. And something that you need to go and do in here, go down to security, and I want you to hit enter. OK. This is going to launch security, and it's going to ask you if you want to enable server authentication. Hit yes, and then you need to create an account. So let's do something simple like admin, and click OK, and then give it a password, and then click OK. So this will set up basically the information for your GNS3, right? Because you're gonna need this later. So whatever password you typed in earlier and set, you're gonna need this. So now let's go ahead and work on our the GUI version so we can connect. Alright, so I'm gonna be installing the GNS version, the GUI version that we need to connect to the VM that we just installed. I'm gonna actually be doing this on Linux. I'll probably do another video later on doing it on Windows, but for now we're just going to go ahead and fire up terminal, and we're going to run through the process here. So normally, first of all, we're going to start off, we should do an update. So let's do sudo app update. It's going to ask for permissions to start, and enter your nice password, and it's going to go ahead and run this update for your system. So the first thing we're running is sudo app update. Normally this is going to show you whatever updates are available, and then we're going to go ahead and do an update on our box. Okay, once it fetches the packages, you can just do sudo app upgrade, hit enter, and it's going to build out whatever packages. Hit yes, and let this run through and do some updates real quick. Alright, once that's done and you have updated your packages, it is time for us to go ahead and install GNS3. So let's go with sudo and then add, and we need to add that apt so repository repository, and then we're going to do ppa colon and then GNS3 and then slash ppa. Need that password again. Okay, so if you look at it, it says you're about to add the following PPA for GNS3 supporting packages, yada yada yada. For more information, blah blah blah. To enter, press enter to continue. So we're gonna hit enter, and then it's gonna go ahead and run that. Okay, so now we're gonna do an update again. So we're gonna do sudo app update, and hit enter again. So all of those packages that we just requested, 24 packages right there, as you can see. Alright, so we did an upgrade just to see if we had to receive any, but only 0 upgrades, 000, nothing upgraded, but these are done. So we're going to go ahead and now do a sudo app, and then this time we're going to do install right here, and then we're going to do GNS3, and then the GUI version. So we need to say GUI, and then GNS3 again, and then server. So we're going to go ahead and hit there, and then hit enter, and then this is going to run. When you get here, you just want to click yes. It's going to prompt you as well. You're going to take us to a prompt where it's going to ask us about Wireshark and Ubridge and so forth. Once you get there, you want to click yes for both times, and once we're there, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so once you get here, this is what I was talking about. It's going to ask you about configuring the Ubridge. You want to make sure that you click yes in here, and then also over here you just click yes again, and then here, and then basically it's just asking you, if everyone that accesses the system, do you want GNS3 to be available, and then do you want to also enable the server as a service here, and then hit enter, and then this is going to go ahead and do its thing. It's going to run through and do its install, and we'll be right back once it gets to 100. Alright, so once the installation is finished, you can do, you can punch in this command if you want IOU support, which is this right here. Don't have to do this, it's just something that I like to add here. So you can add this command if you choose to. And right there, so we can do that, and then we're going to do another update right there, and then this one normally doesn't take that long. There you go. And then from here we can just do sudo app install GNS3 and then -IOU. And this one will go through and hit enter again and run through the updates and make sure that all the packages are good to go. And then from here, once this is finished, what you can do is, best practice, just restart the server or the machine that you're downloading this on or installing it on. You want to just go ahead and restart it. There's other things that you can add to, like if you wanted to do Docker support, or you wanted to install like Docker CE and stuff like that, but we're not going to get into that, right? So we're just going to let this install, and we should be right back. Alright, so that didn't really take so long. So now we're at the final stages. We can just do sudo reboot or reboot. So we can do sudo reboot and restart the system. Okay, we're starting back up here shortly. Alright, as you can see, we are back. We have finished installing, and now we can just double check to see if GNS3 was installed. So just type in GNS3 and you should see it right here if everything was well. So we can go ahead and now open this up, and this is the GUI version of it. So we did the VM portion earlier, so now this is just the state. So what we're going to do is we're going to run appliances on a remote. So we're going to click here and then click next. Now you need to remember the IP address that we used earlier. So mine was 192.168.1.63. The port here is not going to be 3080 because remember, if we look back, it was port 80. And then enable authentication. Now, if you remember the passcode and the user that we created earlier when we built it, that's what you want to type in right here. If everything is good to go, when you click next here, you should authenticate, right? So as you see, I was able to authenticate. Good. That means I'm connecting to the GNS3 box, and I can go ahead and click finish. And now you can see that I do have my main server up and running. I didn't get no errors. Normally you get an error if you didn't connect it right, but we can go ahead and check preferences over here just to be on the safe side to make sure that we're connecting. So if you click on the server, you can enable local server, but that's going into the depths if you have it on the same box. But here we're doing remote servers, so HTTP, this is good, this is good. So our connection looks good. Now under here, GNS3 VM, this will automatically check itself, so that means it's talking to it and it's showing that it's over remote, right? And then right here you can do a refresh. Nothing will come up, but so far we are connecting. So you can go ahead and start like a whole new project, and you should be able to see your box. In fact, as well, you should be able to also pull this over a web. So let's go to internet and go to File Explorer real quick. And if you type in the IP address of your GNS3 VM, since we're doing it on a remote base, you should also be able to see the same thing as well. So if we went up here and did a 192.168.1.63, and then I think it was a port 80. There you go. So same password that you did earlier when you created. Should be able to sign in. And there you go. So the same GNS3 box right here, you should be able to pull it up over the web the same way. So that means you can access this now with multiple interfaces. You can do it over the web on your network, or you can also do it on the interface in the GUI. So if I opened up whatever project or create a new project here, right here, we can just do that project already exists. So let's do a new blank project and call it test. Click OK. Now if I go to the web face interface and I do a refresh, it should be pulling up, there you go, the test project as well. So I can still go in here and see whatever project is being handled. And this is a good way to share across the network too if you were working with other folks. And if I went in here as well, whatever I start adding, it will show up, right? This is the easiest way to, one of the ways to install GNS3 on your Proxmox server to get it up and running. I hope this video was very useful. We will dive deeper into setting up GNS3, adding stuff to it later, but as you know, or if you do know, you can play with it here, adding appliances and so forth, but that's going to be a whole different video, just to keep this one short. But here you go, under switches, you can browse switches, whatever that's here, and you can start setting up GNS3 to make your network live and pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was useful, and I hope this also helps you out in getting your GNS3 box up and running on your network, especially if you were building a home lab. If this video was useful, by all means, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And comment below and let us know which way you prefer, if you like Windows or Linux. I like to do it Linux way because it's easier to install, don't have to do all that click. But we might do another video later showing you how you can also do it on Windows as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.